And and we're live. And we're alive. We're live, and I'm looking forward to having like one viewer over 4 hours while I read about testicle torsion and epididymitis and general urology. Do 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 do. No. Do music. Go timer. Timer. This. Let's show this again. And we're good to go. What's up, J-Car Wave? Jaco? Joker. Yoko. Jesus. People in their YouTube names. What laboratory test do I want to give this? Infectious. I want to do cultures. Cultures from urinary cultures, maybe, I don't know, CRP. Is that even relevant? I want to do an infectious test. Best of luck with the finals, old top. Thank you, Joe Cobb. Hey, yo, Cloris. What's up? I want to do infectious test. And I want to do cultures. And maybe checks for STIs. STDs. Cultures, STDs, and infectious, like CRP. Yes. Yes, chilling after work, saw the stream, how's the studying going? I mean, I started soft last week. I want to really go hard this week. Just like, ideally, if I could just do like a 10-hour, like, brutal session. But if I did that today, what time would it be? I mean, or it would be like 2 a.m. or something. Ideally, by the end of this week, I would feel like I could almost do the test, because then I have 3 more weeks. We could ideally get there if I put in like heavy time. What am I looking for? Remember to take breaks in between, just small ones at least. It helps massively keep you steady focused. Do you see the time? I'm trying to do Pomodoro. I'm trying to do a 45-minute study, 50-minute break. But I never ever do it. I just let the timer run down to 0, and then I reset it. And then I keep doing that until I'm like completely fried in the head. Because every time it goes to 0, I'm like, but I'm not finished with this question. I keep going until I finish the question, and then I go, yeah, but now I'm like in a flow state. I want to keep going. They should have really... Why are they not taking an STD test for this dude? The anamnestics for this patient is missing. But if it's like a 22-year-old dude with epididymitis, of course they should definitely take an STD. But I guess this dude is just like old, like really old. This dude would have to be like 75 for them not to take an STI test. This is clinical malpractice. This dude might have chlamydia. Oh, maybe it's here. What? Really? No STI? It says here. One of the primary reasons that you can get epididymitis. You might find that you can resume and maintain a healthy flow state for longer with those disciplined and appropriate breaks, aka not mid-question. Right, so I take a break whenever I'm done. Or I do like a natural break. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. You just have to do it. Which I'm bad at. I'm more of just go until I can't go any longer. Then yeah. So they even for epididymitis, it's either sexually transmitted or it's not. And they don't even ask to do an STI test for this dude. Really? Why? Vill du komplettera med någon ytterligare undersökning, akut bedömning av patienten? Yes! I want to take an STI test. Why is that not correct? I swear this patient is probably like 95 years old. Some people think we cannot have 2 or more diseases at the same time. Who thinks that? You can absolutely have 2 or more diseases at the same time. It's called comorbidity. You can, like, in literally every field or portion of the body, you can have that. Who thinks that? The last sentence I wrote was a follow-up to my previous. Oh, here. Going on your flow state is completely fine, but those little breaks, like when continuing to a new question, would be ideal to capitalize on. Stretch your legs, get the blood flowing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna practice that today. Oh, this patient is probably really old. Why is everything turning italic? Ah, stop turning everything italic. Need to take a shower, cool down. See you later, dude. See you later, colors. Some people think we cannot have 2 more diseases at a time. Is that? Where have you heard that? That made me curious. Who, like? Can you give me an example? Like, I'll give you an example here. This patient might have epididymitis, which means he has an inflammation or infection in his epididymis, but infection in your epididymis can often spread to your testicle, in which case you have an epididymitis. You have both an infection in your balls and in your epididymis. So that's 2 separate infections. I mean, I guess then you could say, well, he just has an infection. Well, I mean, you can have, if you have cancer, it's very, like if you, cancer in your lungs, it's very common for you to get pneumonia, which is infection in your lungs, from like aspiration and lowered immune defense. So then you have an infection and you have cancer. I mean, if you have like kidney failure, you can very quickly get heart failure, which are 2 different diseases, because all our organs are connected, especially the kidneys. Oh, for example, the last patient we had bilateral metastasis in her adrenal glands, and as a result, she, yeah, got heart failure. They're two different diseases. And kidney failure. 3 diseases. Multi-organ failure, which is very common. If you're talking about psychiatry, you can have ADHD with bipolar, you can have ADHD with autism, you can have bipolar and emotional instability, emotional unstable personality disorder, generalized anxiety disorder together with E. Hey, I feel attacked. I think Joe Cobb might be like a candidate for the autism ADHD combo. That's a fucking sick combo, honestly. That's the sort of combo that can either like cause you to just crash and burn, or just be like the most productive human being in existence. If you find like something that's stimulating. Gift and a mainly a curse. This question is so stupid. Like, if you want to take Kriya to show eventual urine retention, you can just do an ultrasound and actually check if they have residual urine. Who wrote this? Super easy to check for residual urine. Epididymite. 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 Okay, this man is middle-aged. Why the fuck? Dude, people don't understand, but you don't stop having sex just because you turn like 40 or 50. People are fucking all the way up to till they can't. You shouldn't just... Yeah. You can only be in one pathological state therefore you can only have one disease. That, I mean, if you're putting it like that, that's just like semantics. If I have multi-organ failure, no, it's just not true. If I can have a psychiatric disease at the same time as having like a somatic disease, like heart failure. And I can have kidney and heart failure at the same time. I can have heart failure and an infection, which is like super unrelated. So, the only way you could argue for that is just like semantics. Like, well, I mean, if you have an infection and like a organ failure, that's together one pathological state, then it's just semantics, and then it doesn't matter. But if you're actually not arguing on semantics, then it's wrong. Planning on becoming a family doctor, or you're gonna specialize in something? Do you want to know something? This is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to medicine. At least in Sweden, there's no such thing as not specializing. What you would describe as a family doctor is something that's called a general doctor or allmänläkare, and general medicine is a specialty. So to become like a general practice doctor that works in primary care or as a family doctor, you have to specialize in general medicine, and that is called allmänläkare. So that is a specialty, just as much as like an orthopedics or urologist or what have you. So you can't work as not a specialist. Yes, general medicine is a specialty, correct. In Sweden is. I don't know about other countries, but general medicine is a specialty. But if you think about it, it make like working as a general doctor, like at a primary care, is hard. You have to have a very, very broad understanding of a lot of diseases. You have to be really good at like, what's it called? Triage? Triage? Yeah, triage. Because you have to be able to very like quickly know like where should this patient be treated? Should it be treated in general care, or does it need like to go to the hospital and get another specialty care, like specifically like urology, orthopedics? Does this need urgent care? Can it be treated through primary care, etc., etc.? So they have to be good at triaging. They have to be good at having a knowledge of a lot of different fields. You have to be good at orthopedics. Like I've worked at primary care. I've had my own patients. One day you can have someone who broke their foot, and or someone who not broke their foot, but maybe they have like a torsion or a tear or something, and then you have someone who has issues with their urinary tract. Then someone has throat, like infection in their throat. Someone has ear problem. Someone has eye problem. And there's a lot of things you have to be good at in a lot of different areas. And this medical jargon is a whole different language. Well, I mean, yeah, it's most of it is based off of Latin. Like I did a ton of eye inspections with like a slit scope. I did a lot of ear microscopy, where you like check inside the ear, treat like conjunctivitis or outer ear infections or otitis, like like inner ear otitis, otitis, or middle ear otitis or external otitis, and like without being like an ear doctor or an eye doctor, an ophthalmologist. I think in English it's ear, throat. Oh no, sorry, ear, nose, throat. Oh no, så hals. If you're working with like ears, throat, nose, it's also a specialty. But yes, general medicine is a specialty. Now you can flex on people who don't know that. Oh, but to answer your question, I want to go into like orthopedics. Like orthopedics or like plastic surgery, honestly. Happened to, oh yeah. Actually, here. cash money. But working in primary care is really nice. It's really rewarding. You meet all kinds of people. And you sometimes get to meet multiple people over, like, you build a relationship, I mean a professional relationship with patients because they're already occurring. Sefa, I started playing Octa WoW and it seems great, but what it's about, what about you? What do you think about Octo? Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I did my due diligence as far as like checking the safety of it, but the whole thing now, they just recently turned it to open source, the launcher, and I read into that, and open source can be something that strengthens the legitimacy of the project, but it could also mean that people can like inject things, or like the whole vibe coding thing. Also saw a video that where someone did like even deeper actual, like, I'm not good at computers, but someone did like a thorough look into the launcher, specifically the launcher, and there was some funky stuff there. The same funky stuff were in the Turtle WoW launcher. Like the Turtle WoW launcher did also have like a lot of false positives and profiles that could possibly be used for nefarious reasons. But this one apparently had that, but some extra things, and with the whole, like, for example, like it would be a weird scam, but one thing I could see him scam someone with is to, like, if there is some malware there, maybe there's some like key logging or like paste thing, and if they're taking donations in crypto, maybe they use it to get access to someone's crypto wallet. I don't have a crypto wallet, so like I'm not worrying about that, but it could be, I don't know. Yeah, I've had the same aspect of it the whole time. Of like, people should be careful. People should do their own due diligence. You should maybe just run it on like a virtual machine, etc. But I'm gonna keep having a very reserved opinion about it, and absolutely urge everyone to be careful. Which has basically been my stance on it from the start. Gonorrhea, but I exported cheese. That's a great name. Exported cheese. I also had, like, I spotted a bot in the world and reported it to a GM, and then the GM got back to me within 2 minutes saying that the bot had been banned, and he showed up like inside the world, and we were like, sup? Do you watch anime? I don't. And then I've never really ever have. I think I watched Naruto for a period, but that's about it. Yeah, it's at the fam. What? Variety of imported cheese. Pokemon YouTuber? Ah, I didn't know that. Yeah, exported cheese is better. You want to be making that money, you know? You want to be making cheese off of exporting cheese. I do actually make my own yogurt and cheese, but I don't sell it. Please let that be something genuine and not like a dirty joke. If you do actually do that, then that's very wholesome, man. I like that. Dude, I mean, if you're on the internet, you get your brain like permanently get damaged. Especially. Oh my god. I'm sorry, man. Totally serious. Yeah, that's sick, man. How do you make your own yogurt? How the hell do you make your own like, I know how you make cheese, but that seems like a very... Because, like, me and my girlfriend talked about making our own butter from cream. And that seemed, like, reasonable, but taking the step to actually make your own cheese, that's cool. I make a ton of bread too. So easy. Get raw milk, heat to Fahrenheit, cool to, add yogurt, wait 8 hours. If you strain it, cheese fluff and makes Greek yogurt. If you press it, you get soft farmer's easy. Dude, we have to start doing that. My girlfriend makes a ton of sourdough. She's like she's blessed. She was blessed by the sourdough fad, which I'm very thankful for. We've made sourdough pizza, sourdough cookies, like chocolate chip cookies. We've made like sourdough bread with like pesto and cheese, and then just obviously just normal sourdough bread. Super nice. We always have freshly baked bread at home. I want to get into making more, like making my own stock, making my own like I would like to make like kimchi, like fermenting, doing my own fermentation, making sauerkraut and kimchi. Yeah, making your own Greek yogurt. That sounds great. Starter and butter makes fantastic crackers. Nice. Oh, what happened here? I mean, wait. Chupacabra. I mean, you can make more money off exporting opium, but they don't like us doing that anymore. It's illegal or something. Why do you say us? Huh? Who's us? Canadians? did the Canadians used to export a ton of opium? I stopped taking the codeine pills because money is feeling better, but they did help for a week. I just don't understand. I just do not think you need. I don't think you need opioids for that, unless you have like a ACL tear or a meniscus tear, or like some sort of serious lesion. But I'm happy that your knee doesn't hurt anymore. Did you do any physiotherapy? Yeah, but you're not British, Joe. You're Canadian. Kimchi is easy, but I haven't tried it yet. I've gone on pickles and kimchi carrots. Oh, we do pickles and like onion, like red onions, pickled onions. That's very simple. That's like a 1, 2, 3. We call it 1, 2, 3 lag. It's like 3 parts water, 2 parts sugar, 1 part vinegar. Like 35% vinegar. Then you just heat it up. I do that with just normal cucumbers. In Sweden, that's called pressgurka. You do a 1, 2, 3 log, and then you put parsley and a thinly sliced cucumber. It's super, super nice with like meats and on burgers, and yeah. Eight years clean off Fent? Jesus. Oh, brother. That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's I think like it's very evident that like the whole opium epidemic in the US because of like medical companies pushing that stuff for things that doesn't need it, and then that's terrible. It's really, really terrible. Oh, it's break, but I'm not done yet. Oh, I love this part of this 10-hour thing. Let's turn it up. Svea. Take a little break. Actually. I had a tooth and back problem and they wouldn't give me anything, so I got bought pressed pills for years. That's fucked up, man. That's so stuff like that just makes me fucking angry. I mean, like they wouldn't give you, did they provide any options, or can you afford like the actual interventions? Because in Sweden, for example, if people have issues with chronic pain, we have a specific nationalized department which treats people with chronic pain, where they do like all sort of interventions and methods to prevent, like to help that patient. Because ideally, Sweden is very restrictive with like benzos and opioids. It's a very nationalized, just what we call it, effort to minimize the use of opioids and like highly addictive substances. But if you have like real problems, chronic issues with pain, there's a specific department specialized in treating people with those disorders. And of course, it's free. Yeah. 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 I don't even know what pressed pills is, thankfully. I had all my teeth taken out, 24 Tylenol. Holy shit, man. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of reason, like, yeah, that just sounds bad management by the hospital, bad management by everything. So you can just buy a pill press and mix anything powder together and make them into pills and then sell them as whatever everyone wants. That's fucked, man. It's crazy. Should we do like sit-ups and push-ups? How should we stretch our legs in between these breaks? Can you take over the talking here? How is human brain different from animal brain? I mean, animal brains between I mean, you can there's differences between different animals' brains, but not a whole lot. I mean, we have like, what is it? Like 95% genetical similarities with like mice. I guess it's much larger, and we have more synapses, more axons. It's more complex. But I don't have like a hard factual answer to that. That was, or, but I would assume. I know buddies who sold shit like that, but I don't talk to them anymore. That seems reasonable. Best part is they handed me the Tylenol and they took out the teeth. So I couldn't actually take them. Oh, it was stuffed with cotton. You know, the guy who pressed them, I also didn't talk to him anymore. It's crazy. Ugh. Yeah, Sean said you shouldn't have, people shouldn't have to go to the streets to treat their chronic pains. Like I said, I think the way we have it in Sweden with like a pain center, it's a good solution. But it's very hard because you can't treat someone with opioids forever. If they're gonna have a normal life at some point. What's that documentary, Dope Sick, with Michael Keaton? Michael Keaton played Batman. I haven't seen it, but I really want to watch it, where they talk about the Oxycontin epidemic in the US. And how they literally push that onto doctors. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a deliberate effort by pharmaceutical companies to push Oxycontin onto patients. I think there's a video of like people who participated in in commercials for the companies selling that, saying like, "Oh, I'm finally free off of my chronic pain. This has helped me a lot." And then they interviewed those same people like 25 years later, and all of them were permanently addicted. They couldn't go off opioids. Like their whole lives were ruined. So fucking sad, disgusting. I mean, it's not more money for the state, it's more money for the pharmaceutical companies, which they use to then pay the people like in power, obviously. So it's mutual. Like the politicians make money, the companies make money. Bro, in North America, like Canada, dogs can take your driver's license away and shit if you're or drug addict. I think we can do that too here. I think that's reasonable. We have in Sweden, if you're working with psychiatrics, you can put people you can forcibly put people into close treatment if you can prove that they are a danger to themselves and others, and they are unable to willfully or like not mentally accept treatment. Yeah, but you have to agree that the money, the privatized prison system is benefiting companies, right? It's private actors. Like who is getting paid or rich in government if it's not through private donors or insider trading? Like it all stems from the privatization and private interests, right? Like my buddy was asked how many beers he drink a day, and he answered honestly fine. They took his license away. Urine did not. Well, that's crazy. You can't. All right, that seems weird. That seems out of line. Yeah, that's what I mean. Prison means cheap labor for big companies, right? So that's private interest. Like I understand that the government gets profits off of whatever systems, but the initiative, like the incentives and where the money ultimately flows, at least in my head, is through like companies, private equity. Yeah. What is this, sexual disease? No, he has epididymitis, and depending on the age group, the pathology or the etiology of, like if someone comes in with epididymitis and they're like 16 years old, it's most likely caused by an STI or STD. And if someone comes in and is 80 years old, it's most probably caused by like E. coli, because the patient has like a benign prostate hyperplasia. Yeah, but the same people with investments in those companies have mutual goals and motivations as the high up government people likely. Yeah, that's like for me, just logically, uh, like money flowing to the state doesn't make like it. Like people want to make money, and the people who are in power are like like Gavin Newsom, who's the governor or whatever of California. Like that dude is a neoliberal who is bought by everyone and is doing everything to keep that cash cow flowing. Like for me, it's very logical how companies like lobbying is a thing, right? Like companies lobby politicians to create social conditions and whatever to so that the companies can make more money. Just the government, like the U.S. government isn't that like in what like 3 trillion, however many trillion dollars in debt? It doesn't look like the government is making money, but it sure does look like the people at the top, like the top, like private equity is making a shit ton of money. Like the stock market is booming, even though like everything else is in the shitter. So it doesn't look like the government is doing too well, but everyone in government and all the private companies that have like interests and are donating, those people seems to be eating really good. Yeah, that's why I said that earlier. Exported. I said like in so like the answers that the this sort of like the correct answers never brought up STI because this person, this specific patient is supposedly like 80 years old. So they didn't even add it. I added it here. I said, yeah, we should probably check for, I mean, okay, I think, so this patient's anamnestics are missing, but maybe in the anamnestics it said that this patient isn't sexually active. That would be the only reason to not check for STIs, if the patient explicitly says he's not sexually active. But you never know. Like an 8-year-old could like get a prostitute and have anal sex, and have gonorrhea, right? And he's too ashamed to say it. So I think you should always check for STIs if someone comes in and has epididymitis. And then you say the Thai massage. Addiction and homelessness are up, so is the GDP. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And GDP is like the worst measurement for like social progress or development of a country, because like you can build a house, tear it down, and build it again. It's just like whatever private equity does shows up on the GDP. But if someone like you are making, like you're making your own cheese, you're making your own bread, I don't know, maybe you're like, you have chickens at home that lay eggs for you, you built your own house, but you didn't like employ anyone, or you didn't pay yourself for it, then that doesn't show up on the GDP. Like actual productivity or people doing things or living well does not reflect like a growing GDP. You know what massively is increasing your GDP? Amazon building a fucking 50-60 acre data center somewhere that no one wants. That will massively increase your GDP. My wife's grandpa used to go to this parlor every week. He had a massage therapist. Aw. he treated themselves. Yeah, and everyone's their energy bills. I think the issue I have with people who have like a big distrust in like government. Like I have like a very high trust in my government because I'm from Sweden and we get a lot of things. Like there's so much thing, like it's a mutual thing. Like I pay a lot in tax, but there's so many things that I have access to which I'm really grateful for. So like growing up in an environment like that, it's just natural for me to like trust my government and feel like it's it's mutually beneficial. I pay the government things, the government give me things. But I understand like in the US why, first of all, like historically people are so distrusting of government. You know, you don't want government intervention. You want people to be able to do everything that like themselves. Don't tread on me. Like the worst thing you can say is I'm from the government and I'm here to help or whatever. So I understand that. But the whole like ethos of the government is just like bad. If you don't connect that to private equity, it doesn't make sense in my head. You know what I mean? Like if the government, like whatever corrupt thing the government is doing, if that is not flowing directly to like private equity or like companies, then like the correlation doesn't make sense unless it's the sort of corruption that like Stalin and the North Korea, where it's literally just like the government is siphoning money and then building like palaces from themselves. But it doesn't look like that in secular states. Like you don't see, I mean, all of them are making money, but they're not making like billions and billions. It's private equity that are like making billions and billions. And now it kind of seems like Trump is making billions and billions. But before that, sure, like politicians have always done insider trading, and once they leave office, they cash in on all their inside information. But it's not like as blatant like corruption, just to like literally taking money from the people and giving it to themselves. They're doing it through the circumventing system of companies. Like companies are using politicians to enrich themselves. They're trying to put one in my state and people are pissed. You have a trustworthy government, yes. Trust. No, I understand why you don't trust your government in the US. I absolutely understand that. Zem, every time you trust something, you get fucked over and tend to stop trusting them. No, but the thing is, Liz, it doesn't have to be trust. It's just like, it's a mutually beneficial system. And as long as it's mutually beneficial, it's like my take on companies. Like, I don't think you should be a fanboy of like Apple, or a fanboy of a game company or anything. But like, as long as this company keeps providing me with products that I like and that are priced fairly, I will continue buying it for that fair price. That's like the free exchange of goods and services. But as long as that company stops doing that, like the agreement is off, or the cooperation is gone. So as long as my government keeps providing things, I'm happy to pay tax. But if they stop providing these things, I wouldn't be as happy paying tax. I live in a rural area. If they put a data center out here, I will get burnt. It will get burnt out. It's either money or control. Completely in the open here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not buying the game, I'm leasing it. Yeah, absolutely. I made a whole video of that. Yeah, I don't own it. I made a whole video about that. Go watch my, like, how AAA gaming got ruined. I go all in about the rent economy, the leasing economy, techno-feudalism. Yeah. I just think that when people are critical towards government, especially the US government, they're missing the bigger picture, which is like corporate ownership, and how we are like moving closer to techno-feudalism. Like we're past capitalism. Like we're long past capitalism. We are literally running towards a techno-feudal society where like companies have like a monopoly on everything, and we are just like the peasants working the field, and we're like, can I please for $20 a month get access to whatever thing, like whatever necessary thing to like look for a job or participate in the online space or watch media or do anything. And we own nothing. Everything is leased, so it can be taken away or modified or destroyed or hidden or yeah. Do you know about Agenda 2030? I don't. Look into WEF. Should we get back to reading about the prostate? Should we go back to reading about ball sacks? Inflamed ball sacks? Inflamed scrotums? What do you guys think? Is literally exactly what you're talking about. Interesting. I'll Jamie, pull that up. Oh yeah, this World Economic Forums. I feel like I mentioned the original, like it's 20. Yeah, exactly. It's 2030. You will. I own nothing and life has never been better. Yeah, welcome to 2030, I own nothing, I have no privacy and life has never been better. In my video about that, I go through this this article. I mean, it was taken down by the forum, but it's like resurfaced. Yeah. I went through that article. Go watch my video. I'm actually kind of happy with it. Yeah, it is crazy. And it is scary. I'll link it. Yeah, in that video, I like go through the origin of you will own nothing, you'll be happy. Dude, that article is fucked. She goes like sometimes when I'm at work, like sometimes they have like office meetings in my living room. I think that's like a quote from her. From it, like sometimes when I'm not in my apartment, people have office meetings in my living room. Anyways, I have to say hi to my girlfriend. Let's take a little break, and when we come back, I'm gonna do another 45 minutes. Ja, men har du haft en bra dag? Har du fått blivit action än? Alla tiders. My cat wants to go out desperately. Alright, let's go bowling again. 45 minutes. The next question, I assume, will be how should I treat the patient? Yep. No. Yeah, what treatment do I recommend for this patient? If it has E. coli, would that be like Selexid, Fluoxetine? I guess if he has epididymitis, it needs better penetrant. It has to be better. It has to penetrate better. Also, no chickens yet, but we're hoping for livestock year or next. That's sick, man. You have a lot of local farmers. So I can get eggs for $3 a dozen. Oh, that's super good. Wait, $3 a dozen? How much is that per egg? 3 USD to SEK. 27 divided by 12. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's about like what you like. Probably the cheapest eggs you can get here is kind of like around there. Might go for goats so we can have fresh milk for less than $8 a gallon. Wait. $8 a gallon? USD to SEK. 1 gallon, 2 liter. 5 divided by times 1.5. Alright, that's a little bit more expensive than Sweden. Yeah, I'd like to build my own house at some point. I have a background in constructions. Hell yeah, dude. Looks like you all got everything worked out. Women make such ridiculous noises when she sees a cat. She was chasing her because she's annoying. Svea, nu räcker det. Yeah, she's driving up. She's preparing us for kids. I can tell you that much. Screaming kids. She would be like a kid crying most of the day. Also think about the feudalism thing a lot. Important not to black pill about it. So, well, you don't have to be black pilled. I just think that you should like do everything in your power to prevent it. Like what little things you can do to prevent it. Like not, I don't know, subscribe to every streaming service. Don't buy into like bad like Blizzard or Microsoft whenever you cannot. Maybe don't get swept up by like culture, identity politics, and vote for a bunch of corporate fiends just because, you know, said cultural issue, culture, politics, culture war thing that you're focused on. Like, don't get distracted by meaningless things. It's a class battle. It's not a cultural battle. All of that, spread the word. Just like Joe Cobb, like the amount of things you focus on, like fucking race and race theory and stuff. Like, read up on how all the other fucking shady things that's going on. Like, who cares about the fucking Brits selling opioids to China? In the store, it's like $6. 8 for raw milk. It's like 4 to 6 pasteurized. And why would you not buy pasteurized milk though? I guess in the US it's like it's not just pasteurized, it's been through. Oh dude, I don't even want to start thinking about the food, like the food in the US. I could never, like, irregardless of everything else, I could just never live in the US just because of the food there. Holy shit. Hello, I reckon some serious topics here. Yeah, we're I'm trying to answer questions about a scrotum infection, and then simultaneously we're talking about the techno-feudalism, I guess. Parorol, antibiotika. Trimethylprimsulfat. What did that other one say? Ciprofloxacin, trimethylprim. Alright, cool. Nope. Antibiotika, behandlingstid, epidemi. Right. Oh. Illegally bleach chicken before they sell it in the US and Canada. Yeah, stuff like that. I wrote, when I was in high school, me and a buddy wrote like a small thesis, like so when you graduate university in Sweden, all students have to do like a comprehensive big thesis, like a master thesis, but for high school. And me and my buddy compared the Swedish agricultural system and I guess like the meat industry. So the meat industry and agricultural systems, and we compared the US one with the Swedish one, like similarities and differences. And the meat industry in the US is frightful. If you ever get it, I highly recommend watching Fresh Ink, right? Or is it called Food? No, Fresh Ink, right? No, it's just called Fresh. Yeah, Fresh. Dude, it's just called Fresh. From 2009. It's it's scary. Real scary. A research paper, yeah. And now my cat took a massive shit and the whole room smells like poop. Food here is shit. That is why I make basically everything from scratch. That's very respectable, and I definitely understand that. And I like, we have really good food in Sweden, comparably. Our regulations are a lot stricter, and also because we live in a very like northern climate, we don't need as many pesticides. Our how we like grow. What do you mean, like poultry and cows is very well regulated. So we have a lot of local like local suppliers as far as meat and milk. There's still a you know, good amount of, yeah, it's just very it's just good. My outdoor cat loves to come inside, use the litter box. Yeah, I don't like, we're trying to get this cat to be an outside cat, but she's just too incompetent. Like she's very frightened, easily rattled, doesn't know how to defend herself. Just like you know, the autistic kid at school that just didn't participate in PE. It's just, you threw a ball at him and it just hit him in the face. That's Svea. That's our cat. Hur vill du hantera patientens resultat? A catheter, please. They haven't checked his prostate. Like, why wouldn't you just check his prostate? They just go, probably caused by the infection. Yeah, but have you checked his prostate? What if he has a massive prostate? I can't spell relatera. There has to be something in this anamnestics as to like why they would not check this man's prostate. Check the man's prostate. Put a finger in his ass. Right now. I order you. Let's just finish this up. Nurse, hand me the gloves. This means a prostate exam. You have a lot of wildlife? I mean, where I live specifically? I don't know, like, I'm newly moved in here, so I don't like really know what the wildlife is. Where I lived last, we had a lot of elk. And I mean, like, elk and... what do you call it? Deer. Deer, you call it deer. I jumped back into the bush and I threw a rock at it and I walked away. What? One time in rural Nova Scotia visiting family, I swear to God, I saw an eastern cougar. Was walking my dog, this thing was fucking tiger, man. That's crazy. I've almost hit elk though. The closest I've been to like any accidents or close to wildlife. I mean, you run into deer a lot, like just when you're out walking, you see a flock of deer or something. But me and a buddy was driving to a fishing location. And like right as we turn a corner, an elk just stands in the middle of the... Yeah, middle of the road, just fucking looking at us. And then he scoots out and then keep running like across the field with another elk, and we were just like driving next, like perfectly next to each other like this for a while. It was super cool. Thankfully, it was like right as we turned, so we were already like slowed down. But I've actually, like, one of the craziest thing I've seen on like working, I was at the ER. We had a mother and a daughter that had collided with an elk, and I was with the mother. They were treated in 2 different urgent cares rooms. And the mother came in and was just like, her whole face was bloodied. And dude, everyone was, I don't know why, but they were like freaking out. They wanted to give like her values were stable, so we wanted to get her to do a CT scan on her. And I remember we were standing out the CT area, and like this was in the middle of the night, and we couldn't get in, and one of the doctors just like flipped out. He got so fucking angry that we couldn't get in, and they were like, all of them were just like trying their pass like their pass cards to get in, and then we eventually got in, and it turned out the only thing that happened to her was that she broke her nose. She had a midsection nosal fracture, or what is this, the alar, whatever. Yeah, she just broke her nose. That's it. And the girl, her child, that was like 6-7 years old, she was completely fine as well. So that was like crazy how lucky they were. Yeah, I mean, that's what probably happened. I mean, it probably fell through the window and like broke her nose, but like didn't like go nothing more than that. Or like, yeah, she just had a nose fracture. I mean, when she came in, her whole face was bloody, so like everyone was, I mean, they're not freaking out because they're professional, but I was freaking out. I was just standing there in the corner, like a I don't know, candle. Here's how many people die from trying to pet a wild moose. I want statistics on that. Okay, what do I plan to do with this patient? How do I want to follow this patient up? I guess check how the antibiotics are working. And yeah, check the cultures. Yeah, this is some basic stuff. Yep. Yeah, and then maybe check for cancers, because it obstructs the testicles. Yep, I agree with this. Med anspråk på, is that what he means? Is this the final time where they're gonna... Dude, after all of this, they go, yeah, we should probably check this man's prostate. What the fuck? They could have done it at the first thing they did. All they had to do was put a finger in his ass. So after a couple of months, they're gonna go, yeah, maybe we should check his prostate. I bet this doctor really doesn't like to... My mom hit a deer recently with her Jeep. Luckily, it has a push bar and is high up, so she went over the deer. It was a smaller one. Oh shit. That's super... I thought I thought Export Cheese was like, oh, that's super cool. Like your mom drove over a deer. No, never heard of the whistle. Is there any way to save a Turtle Wow character? My wife is very upset. Her first video game character. Yes, like save the WTF. Well, no, not the character, but the settings and all of that you can do through the WTF folder. Yeah, no, I don't see how there's any way to do that. How would you say, like, maybe for... I've seen some people setting up like single player Turtle Wow or something. Maybe you can port it over there somehow. That'd be sick though. I guess you could recreate it if you're running it yourself and you have control of all the code, but that seems complicated. Is this the... Okay, this is a new patient. Finally, we have a new patient. His name is Constantine. He's 56 years old. Everyone, welcome, welcome. I introduce to you Constantine, 56 years old. Who has ankylosing spondylit. That's tough. That's rough. Isn't that what Peyton Manning's brother had, which made it so he couldn't go pro? John Constantine? John Constant is a DC serial figure. Hellblazer. Swamp Thing, Justice League Dark. He's an occult detective and magician from Liverpool. Okay. Interesting. Isn't there a movie with Keanu Reeves called Constantine? Where he like goes to hell? Where's that? Where he's fighting like fallen angels and stuff? Well, if you're talking about that movie, I've seen it. Sheol, say it right. Say what right? Should I say it like no. Okay, next patient. What's up with this patient? Alright. Are we getting bread? Har vi, är det bröd på gång? My girlfriend is keeping our sourdough starter alive. Our sourdough starter is called... Vad heter hon? Gudrun. Gunhild. Gunhild is the name of our sourdough starter. 4 days... No. This dude has baby. Oh, it's also screwed up. Wait, is this the patient that we just had? Is this the same patient again? Is this the patient that we didn't get anamnestics for? Okay, this is literally just a patient that we didn't have the thing for. Alright, let me add this to the start then. LOL, the anamnestics came at the end. He's 56 years old, man. He should... Utanför lokalstat insjuknande, du kompletterar CRP, urinremsan är positiv, leukocyter, skrotum, men tycker det är kliniskt övertygande. Yeah, this is literally this is the thing that we didn't get in the beginning. Stupid. I thought we were getting a new and he's 56 years old. Why didn't they take STI? Are you telling me a 56-year-old person is not sexually active? Oh, you're talking about hell. Is it called let me... hell, what is it? That in Hebrew? Or is it Yiddish? No. Gamla testamentet. Oh, it is pronunciation.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing biblical names, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. In the Hebrew Bible, this is the place to which the dead go. In English, this is said as Sheol, Sheol.
Sheol.
In Hebrew, however, it is normally pronounced as Sheol, Sheol. In English again, Sheol. And now you know.
This is what I should turn my YouTube channel into. How to pronounce Swedish names. How do you say hot dog in Swedish? Varmkorv. Varmkorv. Sheol. 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 I did not hear the difference between the Hebrew and the like English or whatever. Sheol. Sheol. Yeah. I mean it. So I thought that in the amnestics it would say that he did not, like he said that he's like, I'm a monk, I do not have sex, but he's 56 years old. They should absolutely have checked for STIs. Like it just has to be wrong. But I wrote it in. 56 years. Älskling, vi får inte sluta sex när vi är 56.
Det var exakt, jag visste.
My girlfriend immediately went, I hope we're... Yeah, we're not gonna stop.
Du är så.
No, you thought it, and I said it. What is this? It reminds me of the commercial for language school from Swedish, a day trip. I have a Google Instagram on Saturday, man. Need to lock in. It's Steve, man. The dude that's trying to be like a troll. Yeah, lock in, man. Lock in with me. Or like, wanna learn English? Oh, was it like in Swedish and it's you're learning English, or was it the other way around? What a weird question. What? Actually pisses me off that they did not. Whatever. Whatever, let's let it go. Swedish family get into Volvo and they turn the radio on with some English song and they just vibe and drive away. And the end title says Engelsleden. Engelsleden. English Engelsleden is like German. Just Google it. I'll Google it. What? Wait, is it called a day trip? Trip Swedish family. No. Commercial. Based on a popular vlog channel, day trip, a Swedish family. Jonna. No. Familj reklam. How do I find this? A day trip. A Swedish. You. Oh, you can't link it there, Barman, unfortunately. I want to see this. You're gonna have to link it on Discord. Or give me the exact title of the YouTube video. Engels leren? I wanna learn English? Soman's English learner. That's not... Are they supposed to be Swedes? Because Engels leren. This has to be German, man. I mean, maybe they think these are like how Swedes look. I mean, they look very Nordic. You want to do what to my Engels leren? What language is that? This is not Swedish. It's Dutch, man. Engels leren is Dutch for learning English. Yeah, it's Dutch. Yeah, it's Dutch. How do you feel about the Finnish and the Norwegians? I like them both. They're Nordic friends. I like them both. They're different. They're very different, but kind of the same. They're very different, but kind of the same. Yeah. I mean, Swedish and Norwegian come from like the same language tribe, but Finnish comes from like an Urgundisk or Urgundi. It's a different. I think it's like the same language tribe as like Latvia or something like that. Don't quote me on it. You'll figure it out. Du blir säkert från patientens... Nej. Okej. My bad. Eller jag får skylla mig själv. Kan du köpa snus? Tropical mango. Iste. Iste. För mjölk kvar. Mjölk. Vad var det någonting nu? Det blev... Jag menar att jag hade med panten. Ja, men... Ja. Det behöver jag inte oroa mig för mig själv va? Antibiotika. Oh. I made coffee, but I'm out of milk and cream. I can make a cup of coffee. I drink my coffee black. I don't need no fucking milk or cream. Because I'm taking y'all to the store. I thought all Nords hated each other. I mean, I don't. Why would I? We're cut from the same cloth, and we're the shining beacon of like of social democracy to the rest of the world, which seems to be fucking struggling. Is Estonia a Nordic wannabe? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like Finnish language family. It's a Uralic language family, or Finno-Ugric. Yeah, that's what I kind of said. Ugrisk. Yeah, so I was right. Estonia, Karelian, and Hungarian. So Estonia, Karelian, and Hungarian, and Finland share the same like language family, which is Uralic or Finno-Ugric branch. Which is why they kind of look and talk very differently from Norwegians and Swedish people. But socially and democratically, we're very similar. Ugric, yeah. And top part of Russia is Ugric. Gotcha. Have we done 45 minutes again? No. Yep. Yep. I agree with this. Insta-tech answer? Words fraying, words playing. Dude, I have the same I've had the same laptop for like, no joke, 10 years, I think. It works just fine still. Except I think the sound card is dead. Everything else works fine. SSD, i5. You used to be able to run World of Warcraft though. I don't think it's up to that part yet. Still though. What a weird question. That's why I'm just gonna fucking clawed it. I'm just gonna clawed it. Holy cow. Try electrical tape first? Man, nicotine is the worst drug to get off. I quit crack and fent. Dude, I have this. I mean, I've been pushing this. I've been kicking this thing down the road for ages. But in my head, once I'm done with this exam, I'm gonna do a really, really honest try to get off snooze. So in June, maybe like lock myself inside for a week and just eat like fast food and candy. And hope I can get off it. Alright, Constantine. Oh, we're on to neurology. Jesus, like this exam is just like everything. It's neurology, orthopedics, urology. Back in a lip, ripping a butt. I actually got a friend to buy Copenhagen and Skull for me. Copenhagen wintergreen long cut and Skull cherry long cut when she and we got what's it called? Like the chew one that comes in the bag, paper bag with an Indian. What's it called? Chew. Redman. We got Redman Chew original. What? And I have it. I left it at my summer house. Whenever I go there and I go fishing, I fucking pack a fat lip or a fat chin. This is great. I mean, I don't do chewing tobaccos. I just do, you know, like white snus now. Nicotine pouches. Quit smoking, been waiting for a couple of years and tapering down a couple of months. Yeah, it is rough. Oh, that's rough. 2 packs a day. Yeah, dip is so nice. It's like so tasty. And the spitting, it's like, if you have an oral fixation, it's perfect. And the smell of it, oh man. Jeez. Svea. Snälla. Joe, if you have ADHD, I mean, it doesn't have to be central stimulants. There's like atomoxetine. There are like SNRI, SNRI variants that can also work. I think if you have ADHD and you're really struggling, that you should try treatment. I feel like it's one of those cases where it's probably over-medicated and misused in a lot of cases, but if it's done right and you get the right treatment and it's followed up by doctors, it's not just like you get medication dumped on you and there's no follow-up, I think it can be drastically helpful. Pseudoepinephrine found in coal and pills. Yeah, I tried meth. It was great, but the guy only sold it in Canada. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, this is the new patient. Fadi, 68 years old. Hit me with it. Is this literally the exam? Is it gonna be this broad? I've done exams on this. I just drink 10 cups of coffee a day, otherwise I'm like about to fall asleep. Oh. Yeah, I guess I need like a dopamine detox, that's what I need. Which is very related to central stimulants and ADHD and whatever. I mean, you have a dopamine deficiency or signaling in your brain. He has what? Svaghet primär piling i vänster arm. Looks like he had a stroke. Men. Yeah, you're right, Sam. We know a lot more about stuff like this now, and there are ways that you can get help. Like me, yeah. Nazis you can go over to. It's a very overwhelming thing. I've been on Prozac for like 6 months, and that is helping depression-wise. Drugs are a weird thing, man. Substances are neutral in the main things. Like the thing what I have an issue with is when it comes to psychiatric treatment, there seems to be such a different approach to it, as if the brain is not also a somatic organ. I feel like a lot of people view the brain as something separate from the body, which is very interesting because like that can also explain why a lot of things, like how, like what we feel and think and do is somehow like disconnected from like the physical world. which makes people act like, I mean, if someone has like diabetes, or if someone has like heart failure or has had a stroke, I feel like no one, not even people who are like anti-treatment or like new age medicine, they wouldn't go, no, I don't believe in like blood thinners, I don't believe in like insulin. Because if they said that, they would very quickly get really, really sick. Like, if you see someone with a broken leg, no one would go like, well, like, it's not really broken. Like, it depends. It's not, like, the whole thing of, like, chemical imbalances in the brain, first of all, it's proven. Like, you can prove that people with ADHD has decreased signaling, like dopamine signaling, like the pathways in the brain that function through dopamine are like underregulated or downregulated, which means that people with ADHD has a dysfunctional reward system where things that normally reward someone doesn't do it for someone with ADHD. That's why they get uneasy. That's why they get restless. That's why they have a hard time focusing, because like things in the normal world don't like give them the same satisfactions that others people do. And that's just like one part of a more complex disease. But this, like, there's, you know, even like fucking Tom Cruise going like the whole thing, like chemical imbalance is not real. Like, it is real. It's provable. And the brain is an organ just like the heart or the liver or the kidneys. And if something is like, things can be broken in the brain, and they can be broken in, just like they can be broken in a muscle or a tendon or any other thing. Like, if you can cut your arm and your arm needs stitching, that, like, logically something can be broken in the brain. Otherwise, the brain would have to be like something religious, like something ephemeral, something extra, like that's not of this real world, if you don't have the same standard for the brain as you have for other organs. So I truly believe that, like, I've gone through a depression myself, and getting SSRIs together with getting SSRIs and like psychological treatment literally like saved me. Like, it helped. Just like if I had like a heart failure or a stroke, having like Eliquis or Veron would, like, warfarin would save me or save my life. And if you do have ADHD, if you're not being able to get central stimulants or like SNRIs or new treatments that are specified and actually they've been tested to work and help people with that disease, like, why should not people with ADHD have access to treatment? Just because some people are going like, well, like the brain, some ephemeral thing that's not real. Like, a brain can be dysfunctional. Now, you could go like, when we lived like on the prairies, then like maybe an ADHD brain worked fine there, but we don't anymore. We live in a society where we have to go to work and sit at a desk and go to school and sit at a desk. And maybe this was just like a polymorphism at the beginning. It was just like something that constituted a different like sort of brain that functioned well in a larger group that was primarily like hunting and gathering or something, like. But in this modern society, it's malplaced, and to have to think about the brain in such a unique way that you don't think treatment is real for depression or ADHD or bipolar disorder or mania or schizophrenia, I think it's first of all, it's factually wrong, and it's really, really harmful. Hi there, thought it was Factoria Os for a second, just playing it right now. The thing with mental stuff is I have to listen to the doctor, and for a lot of people that is hard to do. Yeah, mental diseases are diseases. You wouldn't tell someone in a wheelchair that it's all in their head. Exactly. But people do that. I think it's such a like psychosocial or whatever you would call it. I think people have such a weird relationships with their thoughts and how their brain work that they cannot like view it as just an organ like everything else. If there's a if it's not, and we're not talking like chemical imbalance, it's such a like a straw man. It's like if nerves, like if you can have nerve damage in your arm, you can have nerve damage that makes you paralyzed. Why would you not be able to have nerve damage in your head or signaling deficiencies? Axons not firing correctly, receptor reuptake receptors not working correctly, receptors not working correctly. Where there's literally examples of that everywhere else in the body. The difference with mental health is it's literally in your head. Yeah, but your head is your brain, man. What do you mean? Your head is your brain. If I shoot you in the head, your brain stopped working. I mean, if you, like, it's proven. You can do, like, you can, like, remove part of the frontal lobe and your, like, your behavior will be, like, drastically different. When people get dementia, their brain volume decreases. Like, their brain decreases in volume. There's atrophy of the brain, which makes them not able to remember stuff. So if your brain volume can decrease and that affects the way you think about things that are in your head, the correlation to somehow make an exclusion for like ADHD or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or personality disorders, yeah, the brain is in the head. Okay, yeah, I got baited. People don't want to admit that they're basically electrical beings just like animals. They want to think that we are something higher. Yes, I think that's... Yes, people think that, you know, yeah, you can just power through it. I don't want to be... It's the whole thing of like destiny or something. People don't want to admit that they like the way they feel and act is literally like, yeah, electrons firing in your head, hormones moving across axons. The idea that we're always in the driving wheel, that everything we say and do is directly something that we're in control of. And then literally, like, you can just do so many examples of people doing crazy stuff, dumb things, getting angry, getting sad. And if you had 100% control over your brain at all time, you would just be in bliss if that was like the main, yeah. You wouldn't feel tired, you wouldn't feel hunger, you wouldn't feel anything. You would just, like, I control my brain, therefore this is how I feel and that's how I am. The logical, it doesn't work. Your brain is literally in your skull. Yes, mental health is literally in your head. Yes. It is in your head. But colloquially, it, like, when people say like it's just in your head, they colloquially mean that no, it's just like you're making it up. But if you do it, if you take it literally, then yeah, like my feelings are literally in my head because that's where my brain is. So yeah, you're right. So when someone goes like, nah, dude, it's all in your head, you would go like, yeah, it is in my head. It's my brain. That's where my brain is. I guess what people are saying that is like, if something is not in the real world, it can be in the head. Sure. But mental health is in the head. That's factual because it's how you're feeling. Wow, caught you guys in the middle of discussing something interesting. Was feeling shitty this morning, but talking about this make me feel better, so thanks. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm contributing to something. I moved out of the city and basically don't have depression or anxiety anymore. I mean, it's factually also proven that you can absolutely do things like the treatment for depression. Like, no one is saying that the only treatment for depressions is SSRIs or SNRIs or like mirtazapine or whatever. Like, in the treatment for depression, you also have like behavioral activation, cognitive behavioral therapy, like changing your surroundings, like, I don't know, sleeping better, eating better, having a social network, having protection mechanisms. Like, these things are also provably factors that improve your surroundings. But it doesn't exclude that for some people, they need also like pharmaceutical treatment. Like, those two things are not mutually exclusive. So what you can argue is that those circumstances, first of all, not everyone can move out to the country. Not everyone can change their immediate surroundings. Not everyone can do this and that. And you can also argue that like environmental or behavioral changes also triggers like neuroplasticity. It also changes or increases or hormonal releases and have you. So like, it all goes back to, yes, our brain is like a machine and it responds and behaves differently to different stimuli. So they're not mutually exclusive. And a good treatment for depression, a good treatment for like any psychiatric treatment, is always to combine it with a holistic, not holistic in the new age sort of way, but like a holistic in that you should have the best circumstances socially, environmentally, behaviorally, and then combine that with pharmaceutical treatment. But depression can absolutely be solved without pharmaceutical treatment, but I think for most cases ADHD requires pharmaceutical treatment. I feel like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, emotional, like borderline, all of those are like, you have to get treatment, because if you don't, then like that's like literally harmful. Like getting a manic episode or a manic depressive episode, if you're bipolar, can literally like cost someone their life. What are your thoughts about dendrology? Just don't even know what that is. Botanic study for woody plants, specifically trees, shrubs, economy is a crucial field in forestry and botany. It uses features like leaves, bark, twigs, buds, distinguishes species, bridging ecology are instead with forest managers and carbon research. I feel, from what I can read, dendrology seems super cool, and this is something I would have liked to learn. So basically, just like the branch of botany that's specializing in characterizing like trees. Hell yeah. Some people learn better coping skills when they were young. Dude, if you want something really cool, if you want to read about something super amazing, look up Orchid. So wait, there's something called Orchid Kids, right? Orchid Kid. Yeah, look up Orchid Child and Dandelion Child. One of the most fascinating lectures I've had in med school was when they talked about epigenetics, how you can inherit like behaviors. So like a typical example is like the brown and like yellow hamsters or whatever. But another cool is like how they exposed mice for with I think they gave them electrical shocks as they were exposing them to like flowery scents. And then they did that like through the generations, and eventually the offspring of those mice got the same neurological response of purely smelling the scent without the electrical stimuli, which is epigenetics. So epigenetics and dandelion orchid childs is a really fascinating thing. How like extreme trauma and different like predisposing factors, like if you have an early birth or you're susceptible to some through genetics, you have like a different profile, and it's connected to serotonin, I think. How like an orchid child is really susceptible to have a really negative outcome in a stressful environment, but in a nurturing environment they will develop more than someone which has like a protection profile that would be a dandelion child, which like irregardless of their circumstances they turn out okay, but they will never reach the highs of an orchid child, for example. It's a really cool concept. Dendro exam in 30 minutes. Let's go! Tell me all about it afterwards. I think SSRIs and the like should be at least last line of defense. They're way overprescribed here. Absolutely, and in Sweden they are. Like you don't go in with SSRIs as the first thing. You should always check. You should always refer the patient to a counselor. You should always try to build a strategy for like a sleeping schedule. You should do everything you can, and then you should use SSRIs. And the thing with SSRIs too is that this is actually related to the concept of like dandelion childs, because they looked at SSRI like a perplexing thing with the SSRIs is that when you first set them in, a lot of patients can experience like a worsening of their depression. But they've also seen that if you're taking SSRIs like in a protective environment, they have like an exponentially beneficial effect. But if you're giving it to people in a chaotic, destructive environment, they can actually have worse effects. And I think that's how they made the connection to dandelion orchid childs, because they had like studied SSRI. They had studied, I think, SSRIs in like macaque apes or something, and then they like exposed them, like had them grow up without a mother and with or without a mother, yada yada. Like you can look up this exact study, but yeah. So actually, like before you put in SSRIs, doing everything you can to create a stable environment for the patient will drastically improve the effectiveness of the SSRIs. And the thing is, like, I knew this. So when I got my depression, I had read about this, so I knew this. So I took time off of school. I went to my summer house. My mom took time off of school, and we just stayed there and the most safe, calm environment that I could be in as I took the treatment, and it really, really, really helped me. Now, a lot of people don't have the option to do that. They can't take time off school. They can't take time off of work. They don't have parents that care. So it's very complex. Every person's like circumstances are different, of course. When I first taken Prozac, I was drinking a lot more. If you have depression, like alcohol drastically worsens your depression. So you should. One thing you shouldn't do if you're depressed is drink. Yeah, so the whole thing about like coping skills when you're young, deal with problems without medication, it's like, yeah, that's very dependent on your how you grew up, your support systems, and everything like that. Yeah, I have a lot of alcoholics in my family too. Like basically everyone on my mother's side has issues with alcohol.
Không làm được hết. Vì là suy nghĩ học bạn.
Nej, fan vad
Gå
gott.
vidare. Gå vidare. De här är släta.
Alright, haul guys. My girl went to the store. We got licorice, Swedish licorice. I mean, I don't know if it's Swedish, but salted licorice. We got strawberry chocolate. We got toilet paper. And we have chili habanero, like local farmers market chips. Hell yeah! And tonight we're gonna eat cod with mashed potatoes and a butter egg sauce. Nope, wrong. I take naltrexone sometimes and it works very well for about a month and stop working. Isn't naltrexone to quell drinking, right? Yeah, naltrexone is a opioid antagonist. So you can technically give naltrexone to people with opioid addiction as well. But it's commonly used for alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is an opioid antagonist, but it's commonly used for alcohol. I think the one they use for opioids is called something else. But they're both opioid antagonists. It's rough, man. Like I've definitely felt like I'm on the fringe sometimes. With alcohol, because I definitely use it as like a crutch to calm me down. And I've sometimes like got worried that it's been on the fringe of risk behavior. Again, Europeans have always been drinking. You're doing very well, Zan. You're smart in school, a lot better than majority of young men in the world. In Canada, like 60% of men under 30 still live at home. I'm the only one in my friend group that has their own place and they work full time. It's normal for people to feel depressed in this world. Yeah, absolutely. And dude, I don't blame anyone in this current state of that. There's a lot of, you know, just apathy, I think, in general. Got your milk? How much do I drink? I mean, so like recently I've been buying like 3.5, like maybe like I buy these, like it's not like in Sweden it's called folköl, so it's 3.5%. Like I can smash a 6-pack of that like an evening, but maybe like two times a week. But it depends. Like I can also go like weeks without drinking. I did 1 month without drinking, but it's like once. Like if you compare it to like we live in a student area, so literally at least once or twice a week. I mean, every Friday, every Saturday, there's parties going on outside. And so, like, if you're a student, you're drinking heavily at least twice a week. And I don't do that. But the thing is, like, I have, like, what you would maybe call, like, risk behavior, because I don't really like going out and drinking. Like, I don't like going to the club. I do like going to, like, a bar with my girlfriend and, like, just just to sit and talk. But I also, like, mainly just enjoy, like, sitting by myself by the computer, playing video games and drinking alone. Like, that's maybe my favorite way of drinking. And I think that's the problem. Like, that's the risk profile. That is 100% something I use as a way to calm down and stop thinking about, like, to calm my anxiety, to calm my fears about the future and all of that. Yeah, drinking and playing games is like super calming, but I always feel shit the day after. ABC. I don't know what you're calling it, but it's like a light beer. It's lighter than a Coors. Like a Coors Light. A Coors Light is 4%. Like how we. I think it's ABV, right? Yeah, it's 3.5 ABV, alcohol by volume. That's what it is. No, it's 3.5 ABV, yeah. No, it's actually 3.5 ABV. In Sweden it's called folköl. You can buy it at like a normal store. And it gives you like a very, very, very small little buzz, but it's still like, I still use it for the same thing. And since like you can't buy like hard liquor or hard beer or like stronger beer, you can only buy that in one store. In that store, I have to take the bus to go into the town to buy it. So like if I had easier access to alcohol, I definitely think I would drink alcohol more. That's why I really think that the Swedish system of like Systembolaget, where the Swedish state has a monopoly of alcohol selling alcohol, that I think that really prevents people from drinking more than they otherwise would. And myself is a clear example of that. I make booch. You can get it way higher than Boss like Slavic kombucha made from rye bread and raisins also helps drinking cravings. I made my own kombucha Scooby once. Kombucha Scooby. No, no. That's not even my girlfriend. I don't think I can sell that. I can sell like, well, maybe kombucha actually, because then I can go like, well, it's like good for your gut health. I think my phone is gonna die in a bit. Här är min klagosång. Vera. Ja, klart, just det. Mm. Ska vi börja laga mat snart? Det är klart här som börjar. Slightly fermented tea. And boy, do we have a lot of tea. All the teas came to the same as black tea. Because the Chinese burned it when they sold it to us. We couldn't replace. Water, sugar, and tea. Use honey when it's cheap. Maybe I should try that. Like I said, I want to try to make some like fermented things. Oh, please don't let me. I hope they don't go into like all the like focality of the brain. It's so tough to remember. Actually cured by wife's lactose intolerance? Lacto fermentation is easy, just keep it sanitary, don't make yourself. What the fuck did I just read? Jesus. Right? Yeah, that's fucked up. I should also probably specify this. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I mean, it's not a laughing matter. That's above my pay grade, but I think that dude should talk to someone. Both things, not just killing someone, the whole thing. The whole shebang. The cat and caboodle, whatever. I know that I have really good notes on like like the focal damage correlating to how it's shown, like weakness in the arm, weakness in the hand, weakness to speech, weakness in the leg, etc. Thanks for the that's a good conversation changer. Yeah, let's go back to the kombucha, guys. Oh my god. Let's go bowling. Hey, what race of warrior would you take for a level 29 twink? Oh, like purely PvP? Tauren. I feel like that AoE stun is super powerful. It's really powerful as an opener too. I'll go Tauren. Also, weird tip: if you keep your homemade bread in the fridge, it lasts longer without going moldy. Nah, dude, bread in the fridge—that's such an American thing. Yeah, there's some like pre-made openers you can do if you have War Stomp. Also, you have larger reach as a Tauren. Just like hit is not like meaningful in PvP, so you don't care about like weapon skill. Haste, no, and then attack power, no. Tauren 100%. Yeah, I've asked that question before, like why, how come it became called, like why is it called twink? Because yeah, from the gay scene, twink is a whole nother thing. What? Because they're younger, lower level? Yeah. Yeah. That means that the World of Warcraft community would have to admit that there were some people that were privy to gay lingo. You know what I mean? Thankfully, the most typical twinks start at level 19. There's no meta to have like a 16-year-old twink. Yeah, your twinks are either 19, 29, 39, 49, or 59. Google said it came from the term tweaked character. It basically geared up low level characters. Tweaked. Twinks, tweaked. I would buy the homosexual origin more. How about orc? No, I don't like. What do you get? You get increased attack power. I just don't think like if you're a twink, you're already geared out, right? You already have like a massive gear advantage. What is a little bit extra attack power really gonna give you? And also, doesn't Berserk increase the damage you take? Oh, you're talking about stun resistance. You're right. Yeah, that's actually pretty big. Maybe like in a are you gonna do arenas or are you gonna do BGs or open world or duels? Because I feel like if you're doing duels, yeah, then maybe having one guaranteed stun as an opener. But if you're doing arenas, it's so big to be able to like AoE stun. Not arenas, in BGs. Yeah, maybe it's a split. Maybe it is orc actually. Stun resistance is pretty big. But I mean, you can always use FAPs, right? Lips. Or like the freedom ones. I need to learn. I need to learn my homunculus. Are you guys privy to the homunculus? Just BGs? So you're saying I need to fap on the twink's lips? Man, that's true. If you're a twink, you have to use faps and lips efficiently. Yeah, I would say you could go either like it's maybe orc is the slightly better, but so the plus are Tauren have a bigger hitbox and bigger reach, and War Stomp, and the stun resistance, and orcs have stun resistance. So I guess, yeah, stun resistance is pretty big. Yeah, I guess it's orcs actually, you're right. Damn it. Taurens are cooler though. I hate orcs. I mean, it would make sense because the best alliance warrior race is obviously Gnome, which has Escape Artist. So like avoiding stuns is like game breaking in PvP or crowd control. Right, no hard feelings, but if Jesus comes back, I'm gonna tell him I don't know you guys. And I'm gonna tell him that he was a bunch of Jews crucified him. No, I think he knows that. I think he's pretty aware of that. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It was 2,000 years ago. Let it go already. I mean, he is a Jew as well, though. Like, Jesus. How long can you possibly hold a grudge? AKA, this land was promised to us. Okay, stop it. Stop it. How long can a land be promised to you? Okay, stop. Stop. Move on. Moving on. Stop talking about this. Now. Ursäkta, vad fan är det här? Postdiktalt, stackarn. Let's try and type it in Russian. Hey, we bought that land from Turkeys, you know, with money like you buy everything else in the world. That's why I keyed. Pakistani? Is that the one we need to have? Yeah, Palestine. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. You know, Eastern politics are kind of dumb. They literally all hate each other, and everyone wants to. Again, I think it's just a mess all around, and I think private interests are also heavily invested in that. But not all. It's a lot of cultural and religious things. Oh. The fucked up thing is religion could be such a good thing. Like, just I think like religion has been tantamount. Is that no? No, that's like the opposite. I think religion has been extremely important for human progression, but it has also hampered human progression. I think it's been extremely important for like social and cultural cohesion, but I also think it has hampered social cohesion. I think it has meant a lot. I think it's helped humanity a lot, but I also think it's hampered humanity a lot. But it might be like a more good than bad. The problem is it's like in the modern society, it doesn't seem like it's caught up at all. It's not like it just doesn't seem like it. I feel like especially like evangelical Christians and radical like Islamists, evangelical Christians are just like objectively harmful to society. Oh my god. Looks so... Jag vill kunna spridning från hand till armen. Female cat or male cat debate when? Female cat, 100%. I like everything. I just want female everything. I want you want like who's gonna cut my hair? Make it be a female. I go to a psychologist. Make it a female. I want a cat. Make it a female. Dog, female. Partner, female. I do, however, want a son, but I definitely want a daughter as well. But if you said like, well, okay, yeah. So I like females. I think female are just so much superior to men in like every way possible. That's a very large could. I'd say Islamists are way more evangelist. I mean, I don't. This is actually. Icarus is sprouting, hell yeah. Alright, just to challenge you, exported cheese. If you look at like what's going on right now in the Middle East, and like if you look at like Pete Hegseth, if you look at a lot of the warmongers, like the people who have historically pushed for wars in the Middle East from the West, it's primarily like how do you fucking say it? Evangelists, because like I think in the West we're so like used to thinking that like, yeah, we believe in Christ, like we believe in Jesus, but we're not like these Taliban's crazy that's like screaming, oh, like, yeah, like it's very evident that the US is like extremely Christian society, but they would never go like, but it's not like the crazy Taliban's or ISIS or whatever. Like it's and you go like it's more civilized and whatever. And like I agree, definitely. Like objectively, there's not Christians like blowing up like buses and whatever. But if you're looking at like legislatively, if you're looking at like, there are literally people in power who think that they can like excel the second coming of Christ. The whole thing of like building the second temple, which is like the prophetic idea of like a big battle in the Middle East, is prophetic of this building of the second temple and therefore the return of Christ. I feel like there's so many people who go like, yeah, but like really, are there really Christians that think like Jesus is actually gonna return? And that you can like bring that on by like creating chaos in the Middle East. And I would just go like, yeah, I truly think that there are people who believe that. And I think there is like census data on that as well, that people actually think that like war in the Middle East will like bring back Jesus, like the second coming. It will like accelerate that process. And if you just look at like the interventionism and like dude, if you're looking at colonialism, if you're looking about like this spreading of Christianity and like colonialism and slavery and all of that has also been extremely predicated on the spreading of Christianity, and that's historically like pretty brutal. So yes, like maybe in the modern society, compare like if you just compare civilizations, yeah, sure, but I also don't think you should like underestimate like how crazy some Christians are. Religion can be a force for progress. That what was the could. No, I don't agree with that. I more so like coping and like social cohesion, not progress. I don't think it could. No. How the fuck do you say evangel? I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong consonant.
Evangelists.
Evangelists, that's how you say it. Evangelists. Yes. Evangelists, that's interesting. Most people here realize we're there for the oil, not to spread religion. Yeah, but like, yes, obviously. But have you like seen the speeches by Pete Hegseth? There's literally tons of videos. There's earlier videos of him actually speculating about like the building of the second temple and accelerating the return of Christ. I understand why that seems so foreign to some, because we look at like white people and we go like, yeah, there are like Christians here, but they're not like crazy religious. Like they are religious, but they're not crazy religious, you know? But that just means, I just feel like it's normalized, and that mindset keeps people from like, if you have a Secretary of Defense go up and talk about like the second coming of Jesus and the building of the second temple, and literally like saying word for word evangelist talking points that are like literally like radical, then if you're not taking that for at face value, the reason you're not doing that is because you're going like, well, like we're white and we're civilized. I don't any Christians that even want to convert Muslims. Yeah, maybe not like convert, like they don't want it, like that's not what we're doing now. That's like evangelists historically. But more so like just destroy the other religions. Yeah, for example, like starting a war in the Middle East. I just think that you can think like a step further. I think my whole thing is you can always take a thought a step further, except like beyond the immediate. Like, of course we're not savage Muslims blowing up cars. We're civilized white people. But then if you just think a little bit further and you go a little bit further, like I think the whole thing of like mega churches and all the money that's gone into that and all the shady stuff, that like that's pretty crazy as well. Like that's also not normal or also not radical. And there's, I think the amount of like how we think people practice Islam is just greatly exaggerated. Like in our head, all Muslims are radicals. I think in a lot of people's heads, like there's no one that just goes to church on Sunday and, you know, I don't know, prays before dinner. But yeah. Maybe they're as bad, but I think, okay, here's what I was gonna say. I think people's view on like radical Muslims is overstated and probably like greatly exaggerated as far as numbers. There's like, I think like Qatar and Saudi Arabia are like literally like devils. Like it's just fucking Sodom and Gomorrah, just awful that those religious states exist and the things they do. So I think that's, but just the idea of like the normal practicing Muslim versus the crazy one, maybe a little bit overexaggerated. But what I definitely do think is that the evangelist not being crazy, I think that's like understated. Like if you're a full-blown evangelist, like some of those people are literally crazy. They want to create war in the Middle East to to accelerate the return of Christ. They're not all radicals, but the moderates are useful idiots for the extremists. Yeah, and that goes definitely both ways. I think I'm done here, and we're gonna start. I'm gonna make dinner with my girlfriend. And I do think that together with corporate takeover, religious takeover, like the separation of church and state, that is gonna also get eroded. Because if you can't get people, a great way to separate people or prevent people from fighting with their class, like up versus down, is to convince them that it's like a religious calling. Whatever we're doing, it's because of Christ. The war in the Middle East is a righteous Christian endeavor, Just like bombing a car if you're a Muslim is a good religious endeavor. I think it's, yeah, like you say, it's a hindrance, it's a hampering of social, like bringing, I think it's like, as all things, a cultural thing to keep the class war from happening, or keeping class consciousness, or improving people's lives materially. You can keep them subjugated through religion. Boom, I said it. That's the final thing. Yeah, and I think, so here's what I'm gonna say. I think the US is gonna try to be pushed in the same direction as a way to cover like the corporate greed that is going on. Or it seems like it is trying to be more like that. I don't know, man. It's very complex, and I think both of them are fucking stupid. Having religious states is stupid and shouldn't be a thing in the 21st century. Thanks everyone who watched today. Crazy, interesting discussions, and we've learned. What have we learned today? We have learned that you should definitely check a dude's prostate, and you should check if they have any STIs, if they have epididymitis. If you want to treat them, you give them ciprofloxacin or doxycycline, usually 10 to 14 days. The most typical pathogens are E. coli for non-sexually transmitted diseases, and it's chlamydia if they are of sexual age. And then we had someone with focal symptoms. It was possibly epilepsy or a small stroke. And you have to be conscious of the onset of the symptoms. If it's everything all at once, acutely, it's probably a small stroke. If it's gradually, it points more to an epilepsy. And that's the whole cat and caboodle. See you later. I'm gonna check my prostate right now. Yeah, it never hurts to check your prostate. How you do it is, obviously you aim for your navel, so you would have to go, like, maybe you can ask your girlfriend to do it, but so if you're lying on your belly, you would put it in like this, and then you would, I mean, like not a full finger length. I mean, you would go the full finger and then move gradually backward, and then feel to the side and over it. And what's the size of it? Like an enlarged normal size? I mean, it should be symmetrical. It should be like, yeah, it should be smooth, symmetrical, and it should be the size of a walnut, or yeah, like a walnut. So maybe like, yeah, a walnut. If it's larger than that, if it's not symmetrical, if the surface is a bit unsmooth, you should probably have it checked. I usually use 2 fingers just to be safe. All right, perfect. All right, thanks everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye.